Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hello, everyone. Get acquainted with yourself because today we have a very special episode planned for you. We are going to be discussing the Ashley Benefield trial. She has just been rendered guilty, but that's not what we're going to be talking about. We do have another stream to discuss that verdict and how and what I think of the verdict, how that verdict arrived at it. I am also joined with guests to discuss that. So yeah, that we're going to be discussing that on Friday at 1:30 Eastern time. Okay, just making sure I got that 1:30 Eastern time. So when I do that, like I said, we're going to be discussing that verdict at trial. But for this particular episode, we're going to be discussing the DV and primarily focusing on Ashley's testimony and what she was describing, the behaviors that she was going through. I am seeing your chat, and I will get to them. Honestly, I'll get to them really quickly. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. But like I said, I am. Yeah. So, like I said, I'm going to be discussing the DV, such as the types of abuse that was present in this particular case, the allegations that she was making. Was it credible or was it not credible? And also, we're also going to be discussing, on top of that, is this a false allegation? Ponder on that and discuss that as well on the stream. So that's what we got planned in store. And also, the Ketchup Squeeze segment is going to be at the end, not at the start. Just putting that out there. Let me know if this is actually a good time for everyone, because I have been wondering what times to do these streams at, because it first began at 16:00 4 p.m. Eastern time. That was the first stream, but we moved it onto this stream onto 11 o'clock for me, but 6 o'clock for you guys. But I'm considering doing it at also 1:30 in the afternoon. Would you guys prefer to see this particular stream at 1:30? I'll just do a quick poll. Let me know, because that would really be very important going forward. Answered. Because I'll just stick to that. If everyone is happy with this time, I'll just stick to that. So, what time is best? I'll just type that in. What time is best for all of you? Okay, so so that's even now, this time. This. Or what was your time? 13:30 ET, which 13:30. Okay, which is 1:30 p.m. Also, guys, if you do hear some sounds in the background, I do apologize for that. That would be the consequences of living in the city, the town center. So it's unfortunate for that. But yeah. So the poll is now up. Yeah. So like I was saying, I'm going to be, before I go to the chat, I just want to say also one more thing. This particular stream, I don't know whether I'm going to do another one. I'm planning to do another one as well, and an addendum kind of to this, because I wanted to kind of critique I don't know. I just forgot his professional, what his title was, but he was talking about the power control wheel, which I frankly call or regard as as a. Well, anyway, never mind. I'll say it for later. Anyway, the power and control wheel. That breakdown. I wanted to speak with. I've contacted quite a few psychologists and counselors to discuss that with me. I did speak. I'm not going to release any details yet because I am planning to do a live interview. So if that's something that you guys would be interested in actually like seeing happen, let me know so that I can like send it over to them, send them the case details if it interests them to talk about it. Not really speak aside, but like, you know, just to highlight a lot of the things that came up in trial that some people may have not understood or may not have, you know, may even learn more from it. So yeah, but that's in the work. So let me go on to this stream. So not stream. That's not stream. Oh. That's not what I meant to say. Sorry about that. That's not what I meant to say. Man, say the chat. 1 second. Yeah, just putting a timer on so that I am running. Okay, so here we are. Let's okay, so let's go to the chat. How are you guys doing? Afternoon. You're late. You better catch up quickly, Zach. Welcome. How are you doing? Do I do interviews? Yes, I do. I've got a lot of interviews actually on my channel. If you go on the videos tab, you will see quite a lot of them. You can see I've done an interview with Ian Ronco as well as Andre Burker on here in regards with that we heard. I done an interview with Phil Mitchell, who is a counselor in regards with forgot her name, Eleanor Williams, you know, and her false accusation. You know, there's a lot on the channel, so I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure you can find, you know, something in there that you would fancy. Let me just continue. He does if they agree to the interview. I want him to be on the channel. Who is the him? Huh? Who is the him? Let me know. Who is the him? Okay, so Zach says, I only play five. Thank you so much for the $5 super chat, Zach. I only pledged $6 million on your other channel. Here, you just get scraps. Wow, that is so nice of you, Zach. And he has a comment under it as well. Random girl says, still trying to build up the unintentional juror, but I don't have great content. Love that, random girl. Yeah, no, I appreciate that $6 million dollar pledge, which of course I'm going to expect that pledge to, you know, I don't want to sue you for this one. Please just come through with a pledge, okay? Just come through with the pledge. That's all I'm asking for. Coming through with the pledge. A bit late for me. Might have to duck out early. So I want to know what time would be a bit late for you. Let me know what time would be a bit late for you. I'm guessing it would be this time because the earlier time I proposed was would be earlier. So I'm guessing this time will be a bit late. So if that's the case, then it might make more sense to switch over. But yeah, still trying to no, I thought you read that. Okay, so the no age copycats here. Okay, so in regards with this case, let's just get on. So if you're watching this back on replay, thank you so much for tuning in, by the way. I just want to make a quick shout out to you guys. Also, there is also something I also want to say in regards. I had something in my head. I'll circle back to it. It'll circle back to me. I just forgot for a second. So, oh yes, that's it. I did mention the verdict talk. Okay, so quick announcement. So the verdict talk is Friday, like I said, but on Thursday we are also doing a live stream giving updates with the Ketchup docket at Ketchup Court, the Ketchup Court docket, I should say. We are going through the Laura Owens I'm going to put it all up after this stream is done. So the details will be up for all of these streams. Do watch the community tabs because I will be posting there a lot more often. I'm trying to become a lot more interactive with this now that I have kind of implemented and like an infrastructure that works for me, and so yeah, I'm excited. Let's go on with the stream. Make sure you hit the like button, and make sure that you also share this stream as well with everyone that is in your vicinity, wherever it might be on your show. Share it with your socials, and also sharing it by talking about it as well. It would be really, really helpful. The amount of people that know about this stream, and I really do appreciate every one of you that are already here. Replay crew, if you're watching back, make sure you comment in the comment section below. So like I said, I'm gonna start with Ashley. Don't know what I've got. I don't know why Anna came into my head. Okay. So I'm going. Here it is. That sound like a young teenage girl or a guy with a. Okay, so we're going to start. Okay, I'm just queuing up, and then we're gonna start from here. Over a million creators and brands are growing faster, engaging better, and selling more with ManyChat. Look, he is very. All right, so that's all set up. So like I said earlier, we are going to be discussing the abusive we are going to be discussing the types of abuse that was prevalent in this particular relationship. Whatever is popping up, we are going to highlight it here and analyze it, and put it to the situation whether she was actually a credible victim of DV as well, or was she just hoaxing all of us basically. And also we will basically conclude in the end, because I'm telling you, I can see why before I start, because I'm assuming some of you might have an idea of this case. If you don't, it is quite, I'm not gonna say polarizing. I don't know what word to actually use, but it has divided opinions, and a lot of people believe that she has, a lot of people believe that she actually premeditated all of this, and she was always out, to torment Doug, which is why Doug was reacting in the way he did. Or people were saying, no, not true, Doug was a psycho, blah blah. But in a case that is blurred, because I believe this is actually very blurred, and I'm gonna give my reasons why for this stream. But in a case that is actually quite as blurry as this, it's quite interesting to see such a bang divide compared to other cases that we have, discussed on here, where we have looked at, the public reception, etc. Well, I've discussed it on the channel as well. So we're gonna start off with how she describes meeting Doug for the first time. 1 second. Okay, there we go. Okay. I am still a boomer that was actually a millennial, accidentally a millennial, I should say. Oh, damn. Get things done quicker. All right, let's do this. I'm not sure if you can see that. All right, let's go over. All right. Oh. All right, so there we go. All done. Nom de Plume says Doug has had a previous history of DV with his first wife. I remember that actually. I I remember that. Did that actually come up? Because I've rewatched it again. and I didn't hear her testify to that. Could you, if possible, do elaborate more? I'm not saying that you're wrong anyway. I'm just saying that my memory could have just literally failed me, like literally just now. But if that is the case, I will factor that in to my analysis. It might actually change my mind. Who knows? But if that's the case, I will factor that in. Let me see the other channel. See, random girl. Well, my dog stepped on the bee. Zach, oh my gosh. First lesson, folks, don't marry someone you have known less than 3 weeks. Is it another story time? One second. Let me actually I should actually rearrange my stream deck while I'm telling the story. Guys, I was actually married before. And yeah, I married her. We actually got together in a week. I married her in like 3 or 4 weeks. I think we got married in like the third or fourth week. And oh gosh, I don't want to get like okay. I'm not gonna tell the whole story, but it was an intense relationship, and we ended up breaking up after like, how long was it? Like a month or something like that. We ended up having to get an annulment. Yeah, an annulment. No joke. Anywho, so how about that for a reassessing of Stream Deck? How about that? All right, so let's go into the chat quickly because I'm seeing a lot of quiet for your comments. Maui Swift, hey, welcome. Thank you so much for joining. It was supposed to. It was a supposed email, but I don't know if it was submitted as evidence. If I've watched every day of this trial, including the back and forth talks. The only thing I know is filings of domestic violence in the past, that which I'm going to comment, and I've already factored in. What I'm trying to demonstrate is that I do know. I have seen all the days of this trial. Not that you guys were saying I haven't, but it was just more of the case of it was just more of the case of I could have just legit skipped over it as when you're scrolling over the breaks, I may have just missed it by accident and landed on the wrong portion. Who knows? But I don't know about these communications, basically, is what I'm trying to say. So, but I will, for the purpose of this stream, I will create an hypothetical in the end to see, what it would be if that was to have been the case, with the previous history of DV. But let's even say that he did have a previous history of DV. Like, if you guys actually know the contents of it and what he did, that would be helpful. Because if you just hear, oh, we just had a previous history of DV and that's it. Well, was he convicted? All of these things, all these questions need to be answered. So, was it just her telling people that he did XYZ? What was the XYZ that she was telling people that he did? So when you look at all of these things, I need to know that to actually be like, okay, cool, with that history coupled with this, are we seeing a pattern? You know what I mean? That's the only time I would consider, me personally, everyone is entitled to use whatever method or approach is comfortable for them, but that's the only time I would actually use it that way. Use the history of the prior relationships, whether because it could just be toxic. But some people, people mislabel things. They call things the wrong label sometimes, and I've seen that a lot on Twitter. Like, so many things get mislabeled. I'm seeing trafficked a lot now, so okay, so let me go on, continue reading the chat. Okay, you guys have said a lot. Okay, so Num says they showed text messages in call by the late wife to Doug in which she discusses the incident where he kicked her. Whoa. Okay, apparently he kicked her because he was frustrated during an inactivity to have a what? Please let me know. To have a what? Don't just leave me in suspense. Yeah, no, they were married 2003, 2000, no, 13. How could there still be, no, 2016, no, it was 2017, 16, 17, I think, around that, because they broke up immediately after he did what he did. So anyway, we're gonna go through this anyway. I'm trying to find Maui Swift has left me in a suspense with that. So I'm trying to 2013. 2003? Have you sure to? Oh, 2000. This is the late wife. Right. Got you. Thank you for explaining that, Maui Swift. Okay, I appreciate that. I stopped at Random Girl says I stopped at Ashley's testimony. I did not find that very clearable, but but still find the state didn't prove the case. Well, we're gonna talk about that on Verdict Watch. Verdict Talk. Sorry. That's gonna be hella fun this Friday. So we'll talk about it over there. But yeah, I can say I can. It's not really a secret. I can actually share my views. Because I was thinking, should I suspend it? Because have I shared already? Anyway, yeah, I do not think her claims were credible at all. I'm going to explain why and show, and give some kind of, logic to it. But it's just, even from the upset, when you consider, I'm not gonna use this because it's a throwaway information, but when you consider even the failing business and how that left me with a lot of questions. I mean, it left me thinking, this guy sunk everything for you, and then he somehow is now controlling how you do your finances and stuff. I didn't find those things particularly credible. I mean, from my perspective, there was also other things that she was alleging in this same time period where they were even having the arguments in regards with the dogs, where he even shot at the roof, etc. I'm gonna get into those as well, but I just didn't find, all of those things. I believe those did happen. I believe that actually did happen, and it must have been distressing because, according to, it was a nervous breakdown according to the prosecution and how they explained it. The text messages that they provided, it was a nervous breakdown. So that must have been very, very distressing. And when you consider all those things, and now the 3 years gap as well, there was so much in this case for me that I'm like, what on earth? He has to have something like rushing at you, and I didn't get that at all from her testimony at all. Am I getting ahead of myself? Maybe, but but yeah. So Mama Yusuf said his first wife. Thank you. I just understood now. I just got to understand it now. Yeah. So everyone says it's 130 is much better. So I will change to 130. So I've stopped the poll. I will change to 130. A lot of you prefer that. So yeah, let's hope that will be better because, yeah, it's just, honestly, like, you guys even joining is amazing because I know that there is some interest. So, but I know what the numbers that I do on Ketchup Court. So I'm like, what am I doing wrong? Maybe I should use that time and see what's going on, why there's such a disparity, such a imbalance between the two. So yeah, anyway, never mind. I've been stressing myself over that. Anyway, let's go on to the testimony. Oh, okay. Okay. Just press play. Oh, okay.
Ashley now, if I can, to the day of the homicide, September 27, 2020.
Okay.
specifically late in the afternoon. Would you tell us why Doug was at your home?
He came over to help load some of the larger items that my mom and I had kind of pre-staged in the garage into the U-Haul truck.
And were there any discussions between the two of you about the order that these things should be placed in the back of the truck?
Yes, we had discussed that my things would be going in last, right at the front, so they would be easy to get out first. At one point, he had me help him load one of the larger pieces into the back of the U-Haul truck. And when I was up in the truck with him, I realized that everything had been all like mixed together. And
Okay, so what we're watching, let me take this chat off the screen. Sorry. Okay, so what we're watching at the moment is what happened on the day of the incident. So and maybe, oh no, I've gone too far. Sorry. Was that's what happened on the day of the incident. We are gonna circle back here because I wanted to go back to when Doug and Ashley first met, but I went to the a minute early. I went a minute too early. So okay.
Specifically late in the afternoon. Would you tell us why Doug was at your home?
He
Oh no.
came over to help load some of the larger items that my mom and I had kind of
Okay, yeah, okay. Okay. I'll just comment on this. I'll just comment on this.
pre-staged in the garage
Never mind.
into the U-Haul truck.
And were there any discussions between the two of you about the order that these things should be placed in the back of the truck?
Yes, we had discussed that my things would be going in last, right at the front, so they would be easy to get out first. At one point, he had me help him load one of the larger pieces into the back of the U-Haul truck. And when I was up in the truck with him, I realized that everything had been all like mixed together and it was no longer separated. And I pointed that out to him, and he got really offended and upset. He said, "It shouldn't be your stuff, your house, my house."
Oh, wow. Was there a particular demand he made at that time?
He said I needed to start acting like a wife.
Tell us.
Everything that she's describing there is what we what no we God, what is described gosh, that was it. What is described as thing that's for psychological abuse, as well as I think what she also alleged. Everything that she alleged is basically psychological abuse, as well as, I'm not sure, verbal abuse. You can call that, but that goes under emotional abuse as well. So everything that she's claiming here could happen in a realm in a logical realm, but we're gonna go. But you're gonna see why she lost me.
At
Not
that point,
Oh, it's not coming up, but it's not coming up. By the way, but you will begin to see. I should say you begin to see why she lost me. But I must point out, I think they're going to discuss how they met after
how you chose to deal with him.
I tried to change the subject.
The reason why I'm focusing on that as well is because of the fact that there was a lot of clusters that was being discussed in the a lot of clusters from a lot of examples, I should say, references taken from this early point of the relationship to describe Doug as a baseline abuser, flat out. So is that possible? Yeah, I actually do believe abusers, baseline abusers, I'm talking real life abusers, do abuse, but they are put moments. They could be a moment in there that, let's say, they abuse this person in like 2005 and 2003, but 2004 there's one more person that made an allegation against them, and they may not have abused them in that point. That's basically what, but that's basically why I'm doing this, because I actually think that when you dig deeper into this, and especially with in my opinion, the parental alienation tactics that she was overtly using, I mean, it makes me it's hard for me to fathom how on earth Doc could even still be a threat to her when she even moved on to have a relationship with somebody else. Even Miles Swift, as pointed out here, she says they didn't even live together, which is extremely true. They broke up. Yeah, in fact, when they first met. But anyway, when they first had this old DV incident, which again, that makes sense. They broke up, and that was it. They had that separation. So anyway,
I could see how upset he was getting. So I wanted to kind of alleviate that.
And how was Doug reacting to your efforts to do that?
He was getting more upset and aggressive and threatening.
ad. I hate ads. Ad time. All right.
Do you attempt to avoid confrontation with him?
Yes.
What do?
I was trying to get him to leave. I kept suggesting that maybe we should be done, saying I was tired. We should just wrap it up for the day.
And what was Doug's reaction to that effort?
He heard me, but he completely disregarded what I was saying.
Ashley, would you tell us if there came a time shortly thereafter where there was physical contact between the two of you?
Yes.
So
Tell us
now
about it.
I have the reason why she even introduced this defense, the physical contact, is to kind of serve the stage that she was about to be serve the stage of why she'd be frightful, right? And in my opinion, this was it. I needed to understand why she would feel like this, why she would feel afraid of Doug in this manner, for so many reasons, such as you've moved on to a new partner. Why didn't this new partner come with you? Why did you get back with Doug if you were this afraid of him? I needed more, and it wasn't provided. Yeah, I just needed more. I'm going to expand on that later on, but that was already a failing for me. That it was basically it was just a weak argument from the beginning, and that needed a lot of support, a lot of supporting facts to show.
We were in the living room, and as he came up to me, instead of walking past me, he walked like right into me, like a body check. He like bumped me.
His shoulder to your shoulder?
Yes.
And describe for us, if you can.
I can actually see how that is also psychologically abusive as well, because of course it kind of reminds you of the power imbalance, and also you also got to look at the fact that yes, she's a ballerina as well, and she's also equally fit if you want to look at it like that as well, because she would be, how old would she be at this point? 27, 28, I think 29. I might be wrong. But the point is, he used to be in the army for years, actually. He's very fit. I mean, even look at the guy. I mean, he doesn't even look at all to be, how old was he, 70 or something like that? Can't even remember the age. 30-year gap. So she's 33, the 66 or something like that, or 67, around that age. He doesn't look at all. Let me actually get him up. One second. Let me actually get him up. He does look legit crazy. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie, it does look actually crazy. Anyway, let me put the image up. That's what it looks like. So if that was them, so if this is what it looks like at the age of 66, I can see how you can have that history, being in the military, everything that you've learned from the military as well. If he has learned combat, I don't think that was actually established. Actually, it just popped back into my memory now. I think somebody was asked that question, and I don't think he received military training. He was 59 when he died. Thank you for that. Thank you, Nom de Plume. Completely forgot his age there. I completely forgot his age. I knew it was really old though, because I remember seeing the picture, and I was like, there's no way. I knew the age then. Actually, I should say, I was like, there's no way he looks like 35. He's comfortably 35, like comfortably. So but yeah, I appreciate every single one of you that I hear. Make sure you hit the like button. Let's continue on with this. But I can, like I said, I can actually see, because of the fact that 20 years older. Okay, I got the initial maths wrong, I should say. It's probably the initial maths then. If it's 20 years, then that's 60. No, not even 63. That's 53. So that would be 53, 56, or something like that. Anyway, never mind. Moving on. Uh so the phys this so the reason why she was setting up the physical contact was to show this would be plausible enough for me to, obviously shoot this guy. And it would be a great defense also, because you now have a question of reactive abuse. Like I said, I'm going to be discussing, I'm going to try and set up a stream to discuss this with psychologists and therapists. Actually, let me ask this question. Do you guys want to see that? Do you guys want to see a live interview? Let me actually ask the question on in the chat. Oh wait, nope. I forgot to even highlight. Never mind. Oh. How did I even do it last time? Oh, okay. Don't type first. Oh, okay. So, okay. Do you want to see an interview with an expert from the psychology field? Let me know in the chat. And if you're watching this on replay, these are some of the fun that we got onto. Spontaneity is all I'm about. It's all I am. I'm very spontaneous during the day. If I had friends and I was with them, I would literally be like, yo, let's not stay inside. Let's go out and do something. Unless I'm really, really tired. Obviously, I am still human. But unless I'm tired, I'm always thinking of something to do. Anyway, so yeah, so if you're watching on replay, make sure you try and come to the next live that we have at the new time of 13:30, which is half 1 p.m. Eastern time. That's half 1 p.m. Eastern time. I'll post it after the stream so that everyone can be acquainted with this new time. I will pilot this out because the last two streams has been very, very, I don't think people even knew that it existed because of just how, just this time alone. So I don't think this time is working. So let's go back into the testimony, because like I said, she is trying to set up the baseline that she has every reason to be terrified of him. And a lot of you are saying yes on a poll, so hopefully we'll set up an expert interview so that we can unpack a lot of the domestic violence that was going on within this trial. We'd love to have that one day. Well, hopefully soon, immediately soon. Let's continue.
And the force of the bump.
It caught me off guard. I almost fell. I like stumbled.
How was he acting at that point?
He was clearly hostile. He was mumbling under his breath and was glaring at me.
What was your concern?
I could see that it was escalating, and I didn't want him to blow up at me.
Was there a second instance of physical contact?
Yes.
Tell us about that, please.
We were in the garage, and it was very much like the living room. I had just suggested strongly that I wanted to be done for the day. And he, as he came up to me, he walked right into me. Again, body checked me.
Finally, was there a third instance of contact?
Yes.
What happened?
We were in the hallway, and we were coming opposite directions towards each other, and he had a box. And as he walked up to me, he looked me in the eye, and
Erin, hi. Thank you so much for stopping by. I appreciate you so much. She calls me the Ketchup Man. Speaking of the Ketchup Man, honestly, yeah, I am. It's been a project that I have been on a little. I don't know what to call it. Is it hiatus? I wouldn't call it a hiatus. Point is, I have been for the past month. I've been doing a lot of quality control, and I've been trying to like look at the direction that I want to take these channels that I'm doing, and hopefully it's gonna shine through. But the Ketchup Man that content that's coming is going to be predominantly what's going to be shown on the Heinz channel. And you're going to see it. Like the first episode is going, well, not first. I mean, I guess you can call it first episode. It's not going to be like a running series or anything like that. No. But it's just going to be like a video essay. Not really video essay. But anyway, I will explain everything on that. I'll do an after stream every episode doing and it should be like a panel of people joining after every release. So I'm really looking forward to it. It's not thing complicated. It's just me discussing um the movies that interest me, and all that it is just finding what was left out. I personally love crime dramas as well as uh real life depiction. I forgot what it's called, based on I forgot what the actual called. It's not documentaries, but movies that were made based on real life events or people or depictions. Well, I don't know, not depictions, but you know what I mean. But yeah, so that's basically the videos, and I'm going to be releasing them. Should be done in 2 weeks time. I'm just getting through the voicing of Ketchup Man because I am trying to like do a bit of voice acting and see how that will come across, because I'm trying to make him to a proper different character. Hopefully, you guys would enjoy that type of content. I am trying to give you something. That's why I even made Ketchup cool, because the ideas that I was having and what I wanted to express on YouTube was just not going to be feasible just for one channel. So I thought it's just best to just put Ketchup Man and Heinz together on this channel and give you the but I also want to take this opportunity as well to say that members, especially all of you guys will get the full version from all of my from all of the Ketchup Man videos. So the public would only get like a cutout of it, but you guys will get the full story. So let's say there's a movie that I am definitely going to be digging into, that is called Unforgivable. I believe it's called Unforgivable. It's about a story about Marie Adler, who was raped, but she wasn't believed when she went to report the said rape. So it was on Netflix. So I'm going to be digging into this. So you can imagine um finding out a lot of the stuff that didn't even make it into the movie, that was primarily Marie Adler's background. And And yeah, so a lot of the surface level stuff will be for the main, while the members of my channel will be receiving the full video uncut, and including my true thoughts about the movie, where he went wrong, all of those things. That's not going to be available to the public. That's going to be for you guys. But I will, but for the public, it will only just be, again, um what was just left out. So yeah, let's go back into this. Sorry for that little sidebar. I just thought I'd make that announcement because there has been a lot of changes. I was planning. I wasn't really planning to do a stream, to be honest, to announce it. I just wanted to do it, but since a lot of you are here, might as well say it. But unbelievable. Thank you, Nom de Plume. I always mix it up. I had no unbelievable was I keep thinking with Bruce Willis. I keep thinking, the M. Night Shyamalan trilogy of Split, Unbreakable. That's the one. That's what I keep. That's ugh. I look, the minute that the word had in front of it, I was always going to mess it up because I watched so many movies within that. I even have Michael Jackson's album in my head, Unbreakable. I'm sorry, a song of Michael Jackson's album, This Is It, I think 2001. There's a song on there with Biggie Smalls called no, I think I've even mixing that one up. Anyway, never mind. Thank you, Nom de Plume. I should say. Let me just. I say all to say thank you, Nom de Plume. Anyway, moving back into. Let's go back into
And he drove the corner of the box up into me.
Where?
My side.
Indicating on your right side,
Yes, sir.
in the hip area?
Yes, sir.
So based on all of this, so all of this happened, and she said all of that. And she said Doug was doing all of that before she shot him. So this was the reason why she gave for shooting Doug.
I apologized.
Why would you have apologized?
Because I could see how upset he was, and I didn't want him to get more mad at me.
Where does Doug go after that incident?
He continued to the garage with the box.
And what happens at that point?
We started getting into a back and forth about being done for the day and what still needed to be packed and that I wanted to be done. And we ended up in our daughter's bedroom, and he started screaming at me. He said, "Shut the fuck up." He started calling me names.
All right. Okay. So that would be more if it's psychological abuse. Well, in this case, not well, you can argue it could be psychological, maybe definitely emotional and verbal.
He said, "I can see what you're doing. You're trying to get me to leave." He said, "I don't have to leave. I can stay and spend the night if I want to because I'm your husband."
Okay, so this one did convince me as something that he would say, considering something that Doug would say, considering the nature of the way that he texts her. So considering how he texts her and how he acted the first time they did break up, and how he acted when the other guy, when she was dating the other guy, because he was quite jealous of that. How he acted and all that, I can believe this in some realm. I know people don't believe it entirely, but this particular part, I can actually believe this particular part about I can stay here. Maybe not in the way that she is framing it. Maybe I mean, Doug is not here to say anything, which is, but maybe if you were to doubt it in any way, it would be just an example of, let's say they were just discussing, like, because it doesn't make sense how that topic would even come up in the first place. Like, roll with me here, roll with me for a second here, because they were loading stuff to the car. The only reason why Doug was there was to help her load. Why would he worry about staying? That doesn't make sense. Who, like, unless I'm missing out who is living where, I don't know how this conversation would come up and why this conversation would come up out of nowhere and say, okay, I'm staying. Why? He knows that you are already moved on. That 3 years ago. This part, like I said, it just didn't comport with me. I just did not, it just did not sit well with me. But that's just my feeling. What do you think? Because there's a couple of people here. Uh, Christine Gallardo. I gotta say, I believe her. I believed her. I really felt authenticity from her. My opinion. Oh, now you're saying all of this in past tense. So does that mean that you don't believe her anymore? Um, let me know in the chat. Let me know, Christine. You don't have to. I mean, but anyway, I just wanted to highlight, there might be some people in the chat that actually do believe her, which you're welcome to. I would love to hear your thoughts on why you believe her, but just based on just these little examples alone, especially this part here, I have no idea. Based on what I know already, I have no idea why Doug would want to stay over if he hasn't already been acquainted with the world of losing. In fact, he's the one that even initiated the divorce. He's already acclimated to the thought of actually her not being in his life anymore. I know why they put on this defense. It actually does make sense because it does corroborate with the control that we were seeing at the early start of this relationship. So if he does have a previous history of DV and control is present at the start, there is a likelihood he's perpetrating the DV again, which I do accept. I actually do accept that at the start there was DV definitely perpetrated, especially smashing the dog, which we're gonna discuss. And yeah, so I just wanted to say that part.
At that point, Ashley, how did you feel with respect to your own personal safety?
I was scared.
Did you take any steps to try to avoid anything further?
Yes, I ran to try to leave the house
And where did you run to?
to the front door.
Did you make it?
No.
Tell us what happened.
Okay, so getting down. All right.
He stopped me. He grabbed me by the hand and he yanked me back. I'm not really sure how he did it, but he spun around so he was in front of me, between me and the door.
So
He said,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
where the fuck do you think you're going?
What was your response? Do you specifically recall? Tell us.
I just blurted it out. I said, I'm done and you need to leave now.
What was Doug's reaction to that command to leave now?
He said, you can't fucking leave me.
Then what happens?
He hit me on the side of the head.
We're gonna get back to this because there's so much I want to legit get into because uh everything that she's painting here is just reasons and reasons upon reasons why her claims would be true. Now, I can stay. Dom the Plum says I can stay the night if I want to. It's a really serious thing to stay with massive understones. Of course, I just I'm just trying to figure out how they would have this conversation because if this is credible, because at the end of the day, I don't believe this is actually a credible thing that he did. But could he have done something else to make her trigger? I'm going to get to that. But I do believe that's what happened. I don't think this part is actually true because I just don't see how this. It's just the sequencing. It just doesn't make sense at all. Especially with the fact that he's already acquainted to losing her. Why is he bothered about losing her again? That doesn't make sense. They got back together. I completely understand, but again, they also separated because of the other guy that she had. Unless I'm mixing timelines, so let me know. Unless I'm mixing timelines, because there was a separation, but I don't know when the guy came in. Maybe I'm blanking on the because there was a 3 year gap between the both of them, which is what has thrown me, just completely throws me off. Really, that 3 year gap. I am anyway. I'm getting ahead of myself. So Mauricio said based on true stories. Yes, that's that's true. Nonda Plume says she could claim all sorts of abuse, but didn't. I think it made her more credible as abuse happens behind closed doors with little or no evidence. We'll never really know. I think we do know here though. We know abuse happened at the start. I want to say this actually before moving on for more. We got to remember that this trial is not a domestic violence trial. They were not trying to establish whether domestic violence occurred. It was they were trying to establish whether this killing was actually justified. So, damn. Anyway, sorry, that's a song just came on. Anyway, uh oh damn, I just lost my point. Anyway, no. No, we have to remember that there is a difference between a DV trial and a trial. Just got it back, okay. And a trial to do with self-defense, because when you're pleading self-defense, you have to establish why. Why is that killing lawful? And here, that's the focus. It's not whether he committed DV. He did commit DV, so that could go towards motive. That's actually very relevant here because his communications confirm that actually happened. It was even explained. I don't think it was even rebutted why all those things happened and how that could be DV. Maui Swift, as pointed out here, he never had hit her before, which I'll get to it. I'll get to it. But she testifies to exactly this. She actually does testify to him never hitting him before. After we have just literally heard her actually say, that she struck him. There were pictures as well. According to the prosecution, I never saw the pictures. We went through the trial. So if the pictures are presented, so that I can see it, like let me know, because I've been looking for these pictures, but apparently her face is very clear. Like you can't see any bruising or anything like that from this place that dog supposedly hit. I think that goes a long. I mean, and you could be true about, but they were trying to argue about person syndrome. Yeah, and that's a very valid argument, but it's hard to. It's not a bad person syndrome doesn't really apply with bruises, and I'm gonna explain it like this because what I'm trying to say is if she had bruises on the day, then we know that this particular incident, it was, then we know that this particular incident, what could be related to domestic violence, which would be assault in the home. Even if it's just that one time, it'll be recognized as such, and that's it. Yep. Okay. Cool. Lawful. Blah blah. Move on. But this again, the bad person would only apply. And I tried to look this up. I really tried to look this up, but I wondered if you could still be considered a bad person if you have moved on to a new relationship. I've really asked myself that question, and it's something that I will have to ask an expert to get their opinion on whether somebody would actually have to be in like if they are in a new relationship, no abuse going on there, can they still be a battered person with the ex? Which is a very interesting question, because then I want to know how that's connected to this, because again the DV objectively is 3 years ago that he was at the start of the relationship. She says he has never hit him. There's a lot more story behind the dog even. uh he had a dog on his bare legs, he was scratching, so she pushes his mom. Okay, so my said the dog was a lie. He had the dog on his bare legs and he was scratching him so he pushes him off. I didn't he didn't Doug send a text message to say I hit the dog because of you may be mad? I'm pretty my memory could be wrong. I'm sure. And also just to highlight this, because again, this is why I believe that time is DV, is the fact that he said the fact that you may be mad. That's what an abuser sounds like. And she left the relationship promptly. Rightly so. I wonder why she went back, especially again. I want to know the time that this, because I don't think that was ever established to me, because I can't remember. I can't even put him to a particular timeline, but I want to know when he stepped into the picture. That would make a whole world of difference, because apparently, forgot her name, the ex-wife of Doug, forgot her name in 2003. They're married in 2003. Anyway, forgot her name. Maybe you guys will know in the chat. Let me know, please. Right. So, the ex-wife of Doug, she was jealous of her as well. So it was, at best, I would put this as a toxic relationship. Again, I'm gonna go through all of these points and I'm gonna break down why I've arrived at this conclusion. You're gonna see why I've arrived at the conclusions that I have. That I don't believe she's a victim of DV. I mean, a victim of DV in this scenario. I believe she had DV perpetrated to her at the start of the relationship, which is why she left. She actually left because of this, and they never lived together. That is still something that they have never done. We're gonna get to the stalking and the other things that was brought up as well. So I think this is where we go to
Over 1 million creators and brands are growing faster, engaging better, and selling more with.
Sorry, I think this is where we get to the.
Maybe.
I think this is where we get to the dog, the claims of the violence against the dog and the cats. I think she said.
I don't remember her name. She was at the sheriff's office.
At the sheriff's office? Okay.
I think I'm
Now,
gone way too far.
what is it about that photograph? Now, action to that command, then what happens? Actually, I'm going to tell us what that represents.
Yes, sir.
Who took that photograph?
I don't remember her name. She was at the sheriff's office.
Or reflected on that day?
Swollen and puffy and just.
Oh, by the way,
Where you were hit?
Yes.
that girl Ava is a very strong, is a very, very smart, intelligent woman. Smart, intelligent woman. Like Doug over. Like maybe not Doug, but apparently Doug was also smart. So, you know,
Your Honor,
I'm gonna show why at the end anyway.
move Fence Exhibit number 7 into evidence.
I'm gonna show why I believe she is a smart woman.
Received.
What was different at that moment, Ashley, than at any time in your prior relationship with Doug?
He had never actually hit me before.
What did you do?
I ran
Where?
to my room
Why?
because I was scared.
Ashley, did you have anything in your room that could protect you?
I had my gun.
No, that's gone too far off.
Did you grab the gun?
Yes.
No, that's gone
As
too
you're
far.
grabbing the gun, what, if anything, did you hear?
I heard the door hitting the doorstop.
1 sec.
As if it is flung open?
Yes.
And what do you see, Ashley, when you look up?
Doug was standing in the doorway. His face was red.
Okay, yeah. So she's talking about the moment she killed him.
been marked as defendant's exhibit number
I think it's here. Because I want to see you hear. The reason why I'm going here is because I want to see you guys hear describe this scene. I'm sorry, this.
Tell us
The whole
what that
thing is-
represents.
It's a picture of my face.
Is it an accurate picture of what your face looked like on that night?
Okay, so that would be the night that dog got shot. I don't think I've got it wrong. I may have put down the wrong. Yeah, I think I put down the wrong timestamp for this one. So I'll move on to the next part. So, but in regards to the dogs, you know, like I said, I'm not even going to. I'm not even going to deny that at all. I'm not even gonna like minimize that. I actually do think DV was perpetrated at the start. You're not gonna get an an argument from me. But if you're gonna argue that she did leave and then DV was perpetrated on this particular occasion, I know it's a bit of a tough sell for me, especially when there's I can't find. I know she gave an explanation. I just don't find it credible. I just don't find it. It just doesn't make sense based on Doug's actions for the past 2 years. So now let's go into, because she did make an accusation on this is why she said that she killed him. 1 second. Should be here.
Supercharge your business with the all-new Shopify point of sale, the all-in-one
While you
POS.
guys are doing that,
I don't know.
let me go. Okay. Let me go to the
Tell
chat. Why
ladies
is
and
the
gentlemen of the jury why you shot Doug.
Right.
I was scared to death. I thought he was gonna kill me. There was nowhere to go. I was trapped in my own house. He wouldn't let me leave.
So
As you
she
sit
said
here-
she said it's because she was trapped and he wouldn't let her leave.
Today,
Um,
Ashley, how do you feel about what happened?
Horrible. He's the father of my child.
and that's where she lost me. Do you guys guess why? Why she would lose me at this specific moment? This is meant to be the moment this was the moment that a lot of my friends actually did believe her, but I didn't. I didn't. And it's just mainly predicated. I don't know why. I just cannot get the thought of the fact that she was pregnant with this guy's kid and she didn't even want him to know about the child. Did she have to tell him about the child? No, I don't think so. She had moved out of life. They had moved on. He had found out from a court filing that she didn't need to make. Why would you need to make the filing? You're having a child. I have seen many people move on with their lives, like legit move on with their lives, never contact with the person again for whatever reason when they have their child, and they don't stories like that exist. People like that exist. It's not the best thing to do, but what I'm trying to say is she actually did it. She actually blocked. The dog did not know that this guy existed. Dog did not know that he had a child. And now she's saying it's horrible because this is the father of my child. You didn't even care about that. Okay, devil's advocate. Let me play. Sorry, not devil's advocate. Let me throw a spanner in my own argument. You have the reconciliation, and on top of the reconciliation, you also have the fact that she was having a custody battle with him that he was not going to lose. And there was another, again, I don't know the timeline with the guy, so I don't know, but it could be significant or it could be nothing with the other guy. So it could be significant, it could be nothing. But the point I'm trying to make is trying to convince me that on this particular occasion, this occasion that DV occurred, and that's why she shot him, and so it's justified. Hard to believe. Very hard to believe. I agree with this comment here, Nom the Plume, when she says domestic violence doesn't have to be physical. Yes, she admits he did not physically assault her, but he was coercive and controlling, both classes DV. I will only push back if you're on trial and your defense is domestic violence and you kill the guy. This is supposed to be abuser. It better be physical. That sounds so harsh, but I don't think any jury is going to buy. I'm not having a go. I'm saying what you're saying here. I'm not having a go, by the way. I'm saying everything that you're saying here is actually valid in the context of when they're both living. But when one is dead, that changes, because you need to show the standard. The self-defense standard is you have to prove it anyway. The defense burden, they have to prove why they had to defend themselves. So that's not, it's like, so imagine a scenario in which all you have in isolation is just physical and verbal abuse. He said fuck me, or he was gaslighting me, so I shot him. Who is gonna, I don't think any jury in the country is gonna convict anyone. Okay, I shot him because I felt gaslit. So it does has to be physical in the context of, in my opinion anyway. Feel free to disagree. I have been wrong so many times in my life that, but I'm I have no authority over this, but it's just my opinion that it's just, when it comes to a realm of life and death, it has to be physical abuse. You have to have been, not Joseph Fritzl level of physical abuse, just at least something justifiable. Like, even, let me give for example, right? Let's say in the past, right? Let's say I'm killed by some girl that I was with, right? And then she hit me the first time, right? And said, put your hand on me again, and I'm gonna hit you. I'm gonna hit you, right? So she warned me then. And then she does it again. And then this time the hit was lethal, I die, right? I think that is reasonable, because she has expressed to you, well, in this scenario, me, that don't put your hands on me. So there's enough warning that if you proceed, yeah, absolutely no. If you proceed, it could escalate to something. Stand your ground is a thing. They tried that here, but anyway, but the well, I wouldn't call that stand your ground, but you know what I'm trying to say. What I'm essentially trying to say is, like, it would just has to be physical. It could not be anything less. I don't think anyone would actually you know get that. So a 59-year-old who has never hit a woman, you to that moment, unlikely. I don't know. I don't know if he did. Yeah, the late white wife was called Renee. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Mary Swift, thank you so much. Yes, she was called Renee. Remember now. I don't know what you're referring to, Christine Gallardo. She said, I just felt it inside. Maybe I'm a sucker for I hear sad things of stories. I got a gut feeling. And Faye response, I mean, do you still believe on? She says, oh, that's what they know. I still do. Was referring to. So she does say, um, that, she still does believe her, which is fine. I'm sorry. I'm just objectively, it's just no way. I think something else happened that day, and we will never know. We'll just never know. At all. Maya Swift says she only lived with him for a few months from the beginning of the relationship. Yeah, and then all of those are snapshots, like the whole incidents that happened is within that month that Mary Swift was referring to. All of those snapshots were within that month, and then they moved on. Again, it's just yeah. How can you control someone that doesn't live with you or financially? No, you can. I got my ex to attest. I got my ex to, yeah, you can. They can still control you. You can control them through messages. You can control them psychologically. It's very possible. The question you have to ask is: was this line of communication open to both Ashley and Doug within that time that they were apart after their first relationship soured? That is the most important thing. And I don't think that was for her to still be in his grasp. Again, she moved on to another guy. I don't know what love bombing, in my opinion, that I don't know what bombing, in my opinion, that Doug has to do to get her to go to him. That has never been established. Again, could be my memory. I don't know, but I don't know. It's not the best answer I can give you. I'm just saying that because I am pretty sure I remember this, but just to be safe, that's the only reason why I'm saying that. But honestly, I do not believe in any way that um, Doug initiated the reunion. She did. Why? Don't you want the other guy anymore? Like, nothing was established for me to see what feather he had over her. It just wasn't. By her own actions, it was pretty much definite that she got out pretty quickly. And again, like I said, the domestic violence onset, that's undisputable. I'll be stupid to try and dispute it. I'll be very stupid. And I don't care for whatever reasons someone gives for her for hitting a dog. It's not justifiable, for one, and secondly, it is DV because it is, I believe it was her dog. So you doing that is actually intimidating behavior towards your victim. So even if it was the other way around and it was Doug and Ashley was doing this, that would be intimidating to Doug because she's like, oh wow, what more are you capable of? It's like a power assertion thing. So I believe that. I just don't believe that continued for 3 years. That's just my opinion. I don't believe that continued for 3 years because I don't think she's a credible victim of DV. And this moment is where she lost me completely. I don't know why you're saying this if you were fighting to keep the child away from him. You are not even trying to reach a point in which you guys can. I know she said that she's Google search how to co-parent with an abusive spouse. Yeah, I think that makes sense. At the time when they were getting the divorce in 2017, complete sense. But I did see that the defense, they have done these tricks. They've done so many tricks all through this trial. You cannot tell me that they haven't, been up to a lot of, yeah. But it was firmly established that those text messages. Sorry, it was firmly established that oh, fam, I just lost my thought. Never mind. Just lost my thought. I had it. Oh damn, I had it as well. Then. Christine Gallard. Okay. Yeah, like I said, this is why this is where she lost me. So I'm going to go to the chat real quick, and she says, and Christine says, Christine Gallardo says she was placating. One second. I think she was placating him by telling him whatever he wanted to hear, but knowing she was going to Maryland. I don't think she wanted anything to do with him, but was afraid to stand up. This is what I'm trying to say. It sounds a lot more like a false allegation. Because I don't know why you would need to do this and go to Maryland. What are you trying? Like, she hasn't mentioned the child at all. You have to add that as well. And I factored this all in. I factored in the tracker. Again, this happened. When did this happen even? I can see now, devil's advocate, I can actually see when you compound it with the tracker as well, right? Let me actually, okay, when you compound it with the tracker, and it's plausible why she would believe that she was getting stalked. It's also plausible why she believes that why she would be in fear of her life, but not on the day, because you're not getting tracked. You invite him over. That's first and foremost. But those, at this, like I said, at the start, all of those things, I don't know exactly what timeline this happened. That was not established. I do think I will speak on it. Let me not speak on it on this stream about the legal team performances. I'll speak on it on the next stream. But in regards to this, there is nothing there. Let's assuming that the that the first time that they broke up, that they all not assuming. That's not what I was trying to say. Let me go back to my notes. 1 second. Hold up. Sorry, 1 second. Let me go back to my notes. That's not what I want. Oh, okay. That's not it. Okay, so, okay. Got it. Okay, got it. Okay, so the point I wanted to make, though, as a devil's advocate, is the point that Doug could have been mentally unwell, and that was the whole tragedy here, because we know from his military background. I don't know if it was combat but I would have loved to known what Doug's psychological profile was like, because I would have loved to know what he was suffering from. It is very possible, very, very possible, that on this day, that she could be fearing that Doug was having another nervous breakdown, like he explained last time. When he shot the gun to the roof. Again, I can see how the first time it's already scary enough, because it's, I think this was happening inside the house, in a closed vicinity. So unless I'm getting my details completely wrong, I don't think it's not relevant where it happens. The fact that you've seen this guy before, and you know that this guy has got history being in the military, the fact that you've seen that, could be plausible to argue that this is what set you off, that this is what set her off, and make her believe, oh shoot, he's going to do this again. He might turn the gun to me this time. I'm going to do it first. That could be very plausible. The issue is she did not argue this. There was no argument, and it was right there. I did not I did not. It was something that stuck out to me when I was looking through my notes all through the trial. I was like, this doesn't make sense. This particular part here does not make sense. Like, what was the nervous breakdown that Doug was having to shoot the gun in the air? Because that was a nervous breakdown. That wasn't even a dog. So the dog was I think it was all in the same incident. I think it was all in the same incident. It was all in the same incident because I think they were having, I don't know, something to do with Eva or something like that. Something to do with Eva, the daughter. But the point is, Doug was having a nervous. With someone with a profile like that, I would have loved to know what their psychological profile was, so that I would have at least. Does he suffer from PTSD? You know, what did he have from his military background that could have influenced his previous relationships? What was the nature of this nervous breakdown? We did not get this established at all to even argue the possibility that she just could have been reactively abused at this point, because everything that I just described would fit more into reactive abuse than self-defense, because regardless, even if you're scared that someone might do something, does not justify you to kill them, because it's a might. You actually need to be in proper danger, like imminent danger, in my opinion. But you didn't see that. So though I'm playing devil's advocate and offering that point, it's just to basically say that I'm really angry that we didn't get that. I'm also angry we didn't get a psychological profile or a psychological evaluation of Ashley Benefield either, because could you imagine the defense of PTSD? That would have really really made sense as to why she would have acted in that way, why she would have responded in that way. Because if she did have again, it's very disconcerting to see someone hit a dog in front of you. I don't know what effects that could have. I would have loved to see a psych evaluation so that you can explore that a bit more. I think that would have helped her a lot more. That would have helped her a lot more to at least understand this. But again, her team did not even try to argue it. All through this trial, I did not even see at all in any way how you don't even bring up, like Ashley herself. Because in all fairness, if something like that was flashing through my mind, I would have said that. If I was on trial, I would have said that. I'd be like, this guy goes into a karate pose. I was scared for my life. I was thinking he's gonna shoot the flipping wind, I was thinking that. Yeah, that's why I shot him. That would have been my defense, personally. I don't know him, but that's what I would have said if that is actually what happened. But you know what I mean? But that's kind of the point. It didn't happen like that. Whether it's the truth or not, whether it's self-defense or not, it would have made more sense. Especially if Doug was in a that would have made that pose, that karate pose, going to fight a pose, etc. That would have made that a lot. It would have made it a lot more contextual. I don't know. It just would have made a lot more sense as to how you could get into the mindset that, oh, here we go again. He's probably having another nervous breakdown. I'm back here again. Shoot. I thought I left this. Shoot. To me, that makes sense, but none of that happened. And that's why I said it's extremely weird for her. At the start, it's a throwaway, but for her to lose the business, and then the DV happens, which they break up, then live apart for years and years, move on to a next guy, go back to Doug, in the middle of a custody battle. You do not even tell your dog that you have your child. You're trying to go to Maryland to get away from him when you were already away from him. So why would you go back to him to get away from him? Because you were in a custody battle, and going to Maryland would ruin that battle. So I do believe the custody battle could have played a massive part, but I think the parental alienation is legit. What could have been I don't think that's the motive, in all fairness, but she was, it's a driving force. It's not the, oh, I want to keep, I do think, change around. I think it is the motive of, I want to keep him away from my daughter because she believes he's bad. He's bad in every way. I just want to keep this child away from him. Probably having regrets that he even finds out they even have a child. But like I said, I don't know why she would even begin this in the first place, because she could have kept it all on the wraps, and but she didn't. So I'm just sorry. With just the fact that she was filing for the custody, and it's just too plausible for me to see that she only went there that day to basically do that. And the best explanation I can come up with is that's the first time that she has ever had to take in her life. As much as she hates the guy, she doesn't want to do it. She's had gun training before. Both of them, it's established that both of them love guns. But in that moment, I actually believe that Ashley was literally, when she simulates how she was holding the gun and how she was doing, she was able to do that. Yeah, frightened. I believe that. I actually find those parts credible. I think that makes sense. You'll be frightened because you're about to do this. In my opinion, that's just my opinion. You're about to do this. It makes sense why she would miss. It makes sense why the gun even got into her. Like, apparently it was in a little jam. It makes sense because she would be terrified. But the reasons why she gave for Doug, like flung at her, that doesn't make sense. Not according to the autopsy or anything that the medical or the forensic pathologist, I think it was, the Far East Asian lady. I don't want to say the wrong country. I think Japanese. I think she was Japanese. Anyway, in regards with her, she broke down the body, etc. That to me does not sound like someone that's been flung and then they took a bullet while they're jumping. On top of that, I'm pretty sure he would have landed on Ashley. If he was coming at her on one level, would have fell on her, like, and some form of his DNA would have got on her. If we are to believe, because this guy is fit. He would have got, like, from what she described, that's what it sounds like to me. But anyway, that's all I have. That's literally, I think that's everything. Yeah, I think that's everything. I'm looking through all my notes. I think I've covered everything. I think I'll cover everything because in all fairness, reactive abuse is probably the only thing that makes sense here. But that's kind of why I call it the women vindication wheel rather than power and control wheel. The wheel. Because there were so many things that was happening in the video that you couldn't, I mean, even the male privilege part that came up in, if you guys have seen that, even the male privilege part that came up, you could tell that was at the start of the relationship. They actually had that. So if this will was introduced and reactive, I am so interested to ask this question. I want to ask this question in regards, because I do think this is reactive abuse. I actually think this is the probably the best illustrator of a case of it, because I do understand why she would have this sentiment to not want to share this child with him. I can see why, and I can see the prosecution's point in them saying, look, she literally went to this guy only because she was moving to Maryland. That kind of makes sense. So all of this happening on that day, I don't know. I think it could have been as easy as lure him, shoot him, but because of the autopsy report and how she described it, it does seem to be coming from someone that was more terrified. So for me, that's what I personally feel. That's what I personally feel. Let me just go to the chat real quick and see how you guys are doing. Christine Gallardo says, I wonder why he wanted to rent a house right behind her in Florida. Now, I heard that, and I want to know when that was. Was that when they were getting back together? Because that would really help put the timeline together as to when they got back together. Because I know it was definitely out of the window by the time that he died, because they were rekindling things. So I want to know, was that around the time that they were getting back together, or was that when they were on the verge of the breakup? Again, all of these, the defense was so bad. They couldn't. I'm sorry. How could you be a lawyer and you don't even put up a timeline for these things? The only person that focused on the timelines was the prosecution. I wanted to avoid saying anything about these guys, but I hate that. I hate the fact that the only thing I know from this case is the fact that this happened in that they broke up in 2017, and that's it. And there's a whole 3 years to the incident, and everything that happened in between that three years is murky, because the people making the allegations are not providing the data to kind of like, okay, but where do I put it? How is it gonna help me? This is why I think she was found guilty, because she's already like, this is the thing about self-defense. If you've already pled guilty, yeah, that's it. This is why I think she was found guilty. But anyway, I'm getting way ahead of myself. This is not even a verdict talk. Why am I even talking like that? Let me go back to the chat because I am done with it. I'll give my final thoughts. Well, you kind of already know now, but I'll give my final thoughts at the end. Just to summarize why I believe she's not a victim of domestic violence. It does change Stalker 1 behavior if he wanted the divorce. It does change Stalker's behavior if he wanted the divorce. Yeah, I would believe so. I mean, why would you want to stalk the girl that you're divorcing from? I haven't seen that. I haven't even seen abusers that even initiate divorces. That's their work coming to an, unless they're moving on, then it's different. Maybe their work is not coming to an end. If they're moving on, then yeah. But if they found someone else, but if they're the one initiating, they found someone else. But I don't know, for Doug's Benefield's scenario, it didn't seem like he found someone else. So again, I ask the question, why would he just randomly file for divorce then? She was still in contact with him. No, sorry, Nominal Film says she was still in contact with him because they were co-parenting. Yes, they were. But she had full custody and she was applying for DVROs or restraining orders, etc., just to keep him from the child and to gain an advantage. According to what I heard in the back and forths during the Vordia, I don't know what it's called. Anyway, point is, they established pretty well that the judge had turned down her request for a restraining order and granted him custody. So he was having the upper hand in the custody battle at one point. And at this point, he had already initiated divorce. She said that she initiated divorce the second time. I don't like... but she said she dissuaded him. Or it was established that she dissuaded him, and then she initiated divorce after he did it. That's what I think. I don't know if that's the accurate sequence. I believe that age was a factor. It's possible. Mary Swift says yes, but there was no evidence of that controlling behavior. I think I look, if you want controlling, if you want everything, it was at the start of the relationship. I'll give that to every single one that believes Ashley Benefield. She was abused. She was a DV victim at the start of the relationship that she left. Not the second time around, because there is nothing. There was no relationship. She was going to Maryland. Well established. I don't know. Anyway, I'll save it for the Friday stream. It was a dysfunctional relationship for sure, and he behaved inappropriately as well. Yeah, No one is a saint. You don't have to be a saint in all this. But if this was a DV trial, she would have been found not guilty time ago, because it's easy. Yeah, I will believe that based on the um based on the previous DV allegation, that would definitely come in, and we would definitely have had to have heard from her. This was Florida as well, so they do have. I think I remember which. I think Florida, FL, Miami. I think Florida do have the law pertaining to. Do they have it? I think they have the law pertaining to. Oh damn! Did I just forget the law? Oh gosh, what is it pertaining to? So the law pertaining. Flipping it! I just lost it. Oh gosh. Anyway, never mind. Damn it. Anyway, I just lost it. Anyway, dysfunctional relationship. Flipping heck, I'm not on the board today. Christine's Galar says she might have had self-serving motives, but I don't think she had coping or maturity skills to navigate that relationship. Yes, I agree. Norman Plume says no mental or physical condition or lived experience gives the right to abuse another person. It's not a get out of jail free card. And yeah, I think we'll leave it on that comment. Well said on the Plume, and thank you, Zach, by the way, for the $5 super chat. He always comes in, becomes a baller, drops it in, and then leaves the stream. Zach, we miss you. Nah, I'm playing, but I'm looking forward to having this new timer. I'm looking forward, especially now that I know exactly where I want the direction of both channels to go. Yeah, I'm looking forward to doing a lot more of these streams with you, because we get to talk about cases like this. I am going to be looking at the Mr. Beast controversy, because it's a very interesting one, and we did do an episode in regards to child, minor solicitation. I've also done an episode on Drake, not on hindsight, but I've done a video going through the Drake Bell allegations, and comparing that to this is Charles. No, that doesn't even exist, at least for Drake. But for Mr. Beast, his company is in a free fall. So we've got 15 minutes left of the stream. Let's go into Ketchup Squeeze and leave the stream. Well, not leave the stream. And close out the stream from there, I meant to say. Let me go here. Okay. So I want to go to this story that is all the way from India. Yeah, that's right, all the way from India. And guess the story. That's right. It's a false accusation story, and it's happening in India. Okay, so let me. A friend of mine sent me this story. Actually, this was a while ago, actually, and I got to it today. I was reading this. I remember he sent me, says, woman gets 5-year jail term for fake rape case against husband. This is kind of similar as well to. I want to add as well, because if you guys remember Diane Redlick, I need to do a stream one day. We need to do a hindsight stream to analyze the differences between Diane, Danny, no, not Daniel, I'm sorry, Ashley, Diane and Ashley. I want to compare both of them and see which one of them is the real deal. Which one of them is more credible, because I actually believe the same story that we heard today is the same story that we heard with Diane Redlick. But there is no way you can say that she is more credible than Diane, because like that. Also, when you gotta realize, I've got this case, I think of cases that I can like look at and like kind of compare and contrast, not to basically base an opinion on it. It doesn't actually do anything for me per se, but when there's a striking contrast is when I kind of pay attention, if that makes sense. So it does have value, it's just it has to be directly relevant. And for me, there was such a contrast with both Diane Reddick story and that of Ashley Benefield. Every non says every series murderer starts with animal cruelty. If you can hurt an animal, you can hurt a human. Yes, absolutely. Let me continue on reading this and then we'll close out on that one. So it's just the one story for today. He says a city-based woman who falsely accused her estranged husband of raping their minor daughter, and even went to the extent of creating false records of her allegation, was convicted and awarded 5 years in jail. Awarded is a real dig. So let me go down here. It says the complaint was forwarded to Calpork or Women Police Station, and the officials that there initiated a probe. During the inquiry, the woman told the police that her daughter used to fall sick often and also complained of urinary problems. That she took the child to. I'm not gonna highlight anymore. There's something wrong with this site. Anyway, she took the child to a few hospitals, and a urine sample was tested at a lab at Calpork. She gave the officials a copy of the report and the doctor's statement confirming the allegation. Based on this, based on these, the police registered invoking the relevant sections of the POCSO Act. Following this man's movement, I don't know anything about that. I'll just move on to here. Anyway, it says during the hearing, his counsel said the man had petitioned the family court seeking a divorce, which led to the false allegation. Revenge. This is a classic case of revenge, and it's very cruel that they're using a child to actually put it through. But this is how they proved that it was a false accusation. It says the counsel proved that before the court that the woman fabricated the urine test result and the doctor's statement, as she had worked in the same lab earlier. After confirming the truth of the matter by recording the daughter's statement, the court not only quashed the case in August 2019, but also directed the police to register a case under POCSO Act and IPC. A detailed investigation by the police found that the woman raised the allegation to take revenge upon her husband. After the hearing, Special Judge Rajalakshmi, oh, I said that right. Oh, Judge M. Challenge accepted. Okay, let's pronounce this. Okay, Judge M. Rajalakshmi. Judge M. Rajalakshmi. How did I do? So if you're from India or and you're watching this back on replay, let me know in the comments how I did. Found her guilty and awarded her 5 years in imprisonment. So that's basically the only news for Ketchup Court this week. It's not similar at all. It's quite, but it is similar to the stories that we've covered here. In terms of false allegation, and this one is a false child rape allegation, and I was not even in the shot. There we go. A false child rape allegation. Yeah, that was. So let's just go through the chats one last time and then we'll close out. So it's Maui Swift. His wife died nine months earlier prior to meeting Ashley. He didn't have a gun on him when she shot him. Nom de Plume says, and he didn't tell his daughter he remarried after the event. And he didn't tell his daughter he remarried until after the event. Oh yeah, the DV. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's true. Oh, you guys are having your own conversation. Sorry. Good analysis, Ketchup. Thank you, Maui Swift. I live for that because I love doing this. I was really wrecked for this stream, but I'm glad that on some level I do think the time is off, because the times that I use but I've used this time on my other channel and people still tuned in. So, but it was considerably lower even on my other channel, so maybe the new time might work out better. But I was very, very, very. I was gonna do this stream regardless because I was gonna talk about this case, but knowing that the 11 o'clock time, well, 11 o'clock UK time, and 6 o'clock Eastern time is the wrong time. I'm looking forward to next week's stream now because I look forward to see more of you. But I will try to put up these streams a bit earlier, probably Sunday night, so that you guys can be, ready for them and expect them. Maybe that would help it as well. Mario said the report was going to be released. Why she was trying to get back with him? Yeah, I remember that report. I do remember that report. I remember she sent, it was an email, wasn't it? Someone sent an email. I don't know, but it was in that report that they couldn't get that the prosecution couldn't get their hands on. I remember that. Christine Gallardo says, I thought you also trained to stand sideways to make yourself a smaller target. Also, DV is very real. And My Swift says DV is. Wait, hold up. I thought you so. What's this in reference to Christine Gallardo? Let me know. Mario says DV is very real and it can happen to men, but not in this case. He was enamored with Ashley, but the ballet thing didn't work out and she didn't want to share. I think that's why. Compounded with the dog issue, that's why they broke up, wasn't it? Christine Gallardo says she didn't want to tell him she didn't want to reconcile. But she didn't tell him. She was playing both ends of the middle. Yeah. All right. So that's all. That's everyone. I'll just close out on this. I'll just say, look, everyone. Everyone, thank you so. Oh, okay. That's not right. That's not. Yeah. So again, let me now that I've oriented myself. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Just to recap again, I do think that I must stress again. I do think that DV was perpetrated. I'm not saying that she lied about all situations of DV. There was enough corroboration to know that there was prior history of DV here. But in particular with this trial and why she killed him, I only think that the only thing that I could draw from this, or a certain remedy for situations like this, is the possible exploration of reactive abuse, because that may have explained better what happened here. It's a model that is relatively new. It is a topic of its own that requires an expert to kind of break it down and put it together with this case. So definitely I will let you guys know when it is all sorted out and we can do the live interview, because I would equally love to know how reactive abuse would have been of aid or even adverse in this particular scenario, or maybe it wasn't reactive abuse at all and there was no way to actually defend her, because that's the only thing that I think could explain all of this. Reactive abuse, is it a real thing? I have my reasons for not agreeing with the model. I would say it is not seen equitably by the professionals that even put out theories about the model, that structure it, lay out the methodology of using the reactive abuse model. Sorry about that. Even those experts, sorry about that. Okay. I've got that muted. Anyway, going back, even those experts in regards to reactive abuse, if it was the other way around, we wouldn't be having this conversation in regards to male. That's the only part I don't agree with it, because the experts do not recognize that a male could perpetrate reactive abuse to a woman. That's personally why. I've done a stream on here where one of the experts came on to actually explain why this can't be the case in regards to the Jonathan Majors stream, so you can go check that out. I interviewed her again in a recent interview with Ali Abulaban. So there's so much to do on this channel, but guys, I must go. Thank you so much, every single one of you, for tuning in. Yeah, make sure you head over to Ketchup Court, where we have the home of the unintentional juror, where we have trial watch as well as filings, read and breakdowns. What happens there is a whole lot of fun. We are breaking down a case at the moment right now that goes by the name of Laura Owens. We have been tracking that case closely. She has now been in Maricopa County. She has now been referred for prosecution. So we have been monitoring what might come from that particular case. We should have a stream ready for you tomorrow to go, and we're gonna put out the details later on. We'll make sure you watch this space. Christine Gallardo, I see your message. It is a good angle. Thank you so much for that. Reactor abuse is a good angle to think about. It is. I think so. I'm definitely going to ask that question once we sub the stream for hindsight, one of the episodes. But it will definitely happen. So, but hopefully it's not going to be too late. Hopefully I can find someone that will be able to, that wants to talk about the case. But that's the only 4 I had. Like I expressed, the fact that they didn't even have any psychiatric profile for either of these people, no psychological evaluation for Ashley Benefield. It's kind of. I mean, I know she didn't contest it. I completely agree, but I think she should have made an issue and say, "Look, listen, I possibly could have been suffering from PTSD." I don't know, but anyway. But that's all I have to say. Thank you for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed this show. Take care of yourself. We have a lot more coming up for you next Sunday at the new time of 1:30 p.m. Eastern Time. That's 1:30 p.m. Eastern Time. I'll see you there for the next episode of Hindsight. We shall be communicating what we're going to be discussing on that stream. So without further ado, take care of yourself. We leave it there. Have a great evening. Bye.